Are you ready for a new era of transportation? Russia's insane plan to build a superhighway to America is a game changer. Imagine driving from New York to London, passing through Russia and Asia without stopping for a single traffic light. Sounds impossible, right? Think again. Russia is planning to build a massive 20,000-kilometer highway that will connect North America and Europe, making it the longest highway in the world. But how will it work? Where will it go? And what are the implications for the future of transportation? Join us as we explore this bold and audacious plan and uncover the potential benefits and challenges of this epic undertaking. First off, what is this project all about? Well, the idea behind this project is to connect Russia with Alaska through a network of highways and tunnels. The project was first proposed back in 2014 by Russian railways, and it's been gaining traction ever since. The highway would start in the easternmost part of Russia in the city of Magadan, and it would run all the way across Siberia, through the Bering Strait and into Alaska. From there, the highway would connect with the rest of North America's road network. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth would anyone want to build a highway that spans over 20,000 kilometers? Well, there are actually quite a few reasons why this project makes sense. For one, it would greatly reduce the travel time between Russia and North America. Right now, if you want to travel from Russia to North America, you have to either take a flight or sail across the Pacific Ocean. Both of these options are expensive and time-consuming. With a highway, you could drive from one continent to the other in a matter of days. Secondly, this project would greatly boost trade between Russia and North America. Right now, most of the trade between these two continents happens via ships, which are slow and expensive. With a highway, goods could be transported much more quickly and efficiently. Thirdly, this project would create thousands of jobs in both Russia and North America. The construction of such a massive infrastructure project would require a massive workforce, including engineers, construction workers, architects, and other skilled professionals. The project would create thousands of jobs in both Russia and North America, providing employment opportunities for workers in various sectors, including manufacturing, transportation, and logistics. The project would also create indirect jobs in related industries, such as hospitality, retail, and services, as the highway would facilitate the movement of people and goods across the region. Once the highway is completed, there would be a significant demand for skilled workers to maintain and operate the road. The highway would require ongoing maintenance, including repairs, resurfacing, and other routine maintenance tasks. Additionally, the highway would require significant support infrastructure, including rest areas, gas stations, and other facilities. The job creation potential of the highway project could provide a significant boost to the local economies in both Russia and North America. The creation of new jobs would stimulate economic growth and provide opportunities for workers who may have struggled to find employment in other industries. It could also create opportunities for small businesses and entrepreneurs to provide goods and services to workers and travelers using the highway. However, it is essential to note that the job creation potential of the highway project is not without challenges. The project would require a significant investment in training and education to provide workers with the skills required to work on the highway. Additionally, there may be challenges in recruiting and retaining workers for the project, particularly in remote areas. So, with all these benefits, why hasn't this project been started yet? Well, the truth is, there are a few major obstacles that need to be overcome before construction can begin. The first and most obvious obstacle is the Bering Strait. This narrow body of water separates Russia from Alaska, and it's over 80 kilometers wide. To build a highway across the Bering Strait, a series of tunnels would need to be constructed, and that's no easy feat. The water is freezing cold, the currents are strong, and the terrain is rugged. The second obstacle is the cost. The cost of the proposed highway from Russia to America is another significant obstacle facing the project. It is estimated that the construction of the highway would cost hundreds of billions of dollars, making it one of the most expensive infrastructure projects in history. The cost would be a significant barrier to the realization of the project, as funding would need to be secured from both public and private sources. The Russian and American governments would be the primary sources of funding for the project. However, securing funding from these governments would be challenging given the significant cost and potential political obstacles. Both governments would need to commit substantial resources to the project, which could be a tough sell to taxpayers and voters. The private sector could also provide funding for the project, but finding investors willing to commit to such a massive and risky project could be difficult. The cost of the project, combined with the potential challenges and uncertainties involved in its construction, could make private investors hesitant to commit significant amounts of capital. Another factor that could impact the cost of the project is the challenging terrain through which the highway would pass. The construction of the highway would require extensive infrastructure development, including tunnels, bridges, and other engineering feats. The harsh climate and rugged terrain in some parts of the route would also add to the project's cost and complexity. To address the cost challenge, proponents of the highway project have suggested that it could be financed through public-private partnerships, where private investors would contribute a portion of the funding in exchange for the right to operate and maintain the highway for a set period. This approach would reduce the financial burden on the governments and provide a financial return for private investors. The third obstacle is the environmental impact. This project would require the construction of roads and tunnels through some of the most remote and pristine wilderness areas on the planet. The impact on wildlife and ecosystems would need to be carefully considered before construction could begin. So, is this project actually possible? Well, that's a difficult question to answer. There's no doubt that the construction of a highway spanning over 20,000 kilometers, including tunnels through the Bering Strait, would be an engineering marvel, but it would also be incredibly difficult and expensive. Some experts have estimated that the project could take up to 15 years to complete and could cost upwards of $500 billion. That's a lot of money, and it's unclear whether the Russian and American governments would be willing to foot the bill. There are also concerns about the environmental impact of the project. Many environmentalists believe that the construction of such a massive infrastructure project would have a devastating impact on the natural world, including wildlife, habitats, and ecosystems. The potential environmental impact of the proposed highway from Russia to America is one of the most significant concerns raised by environmentalists and conservationists. The project would involve building a network of highways and tunnels through some of the most remote and pristine wilderness areas on the planet, including vast stretches of Siberian forests, the Bering Strait, and Alaska's rugged terrain. The construction of the highway would require large-scale land clearing, which would undoubtedly cause significant disturbance to the natural ecosystems in the area. Wildlife habitats would be destroyed, and many species of plants and animals would be displaced or threatened with extinction. The highways and tunnels would cut through important migratory routes of various species, potentially disrupting their seasonal movements and breeding patterns. The noise pollution from the traffic on the highway could also disturb wildlife and disrupt their natural behavior. Furthermore, the construction of the highway would lead to an increase in greenhouse gas emissions, primarily due to the significant amount of construction materials required for the project. Concrete and asphalt, which are the primary building materials for roads and highways, are known to have a significant carbon footprint. The highway would also increase the number of vehicles on the road, leading to an increase in air pollution and carbon emissions. The Bering Strait, which separates Russia from Alaska, is also a significant ecological hotspot, with unique and fragile marine ecosystems that are home to many species of marine mammals, fish, and seabirds. The construction of tunnels through the Bering Strait would likely lead to significant disturbance of the marine ecosystem. The construction noise and vibration could cause harm to marine life, and any oil spills or chemical leaks from the traffic on the highway could have devastating consequences for the local environment. Furthermore, there are geopolitical considerations to take into account. The project would need to pass through indigenous lands and territories, and there are questions about who would ultimately benefit from the highway. Would it be a purely commercial venture, or would it also serve as a strategic asset for the Russian government? Despite these challenges, there are many who believe that the benefits of the highway would far outweigh the costs. Proponents argue that the project would create jobs, boost trade, and strengthen ties between Russia and North America. It could also serve as a catalyst for further infrastructure projects in the region, such as the development of ports, railways, and pipelines. So there you have it, folks. Russia's insane plan to build a superhighway to America is a game changer that could potentially revolutionize the way we think about transportation and global connectivity. While the project faces significant challenges, including political, environmental, and financial obstacles, the potential benefits are vast, from improved trade and economic growth to job creation and enhanced geopolitical cooperation. What do you think about Russia's plan to build a superhighway to America? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on our future videos exploring the latest news and trends shaping our world. Thanks for watching, and we will see you at the next one.